The aliens called it peace. Humans called it a threat. The final message arrived without warning. One quiet night, the sky above Earth changed color for just 1 second. Every satellite blinked at the same time. Radios, phones, and military systems all turned silent. Then a single signal forced its way into every screen across the planet. People stopped moving, cars slowed down, aircraft pilots stared at frozen panels, world leaders stood in shock as the message began to play. A tall alien figure appeared on every display, its face calm, its voice cold and steady. "We offer peace, accept our guidance, surrender your weapons, and join the Galactic Alliance. Refuse and face removal." The message ended as quickly as it started. For a few seconds, the world stayed silent. In cities, people looked at each other, confused. Some felt hope. Maybe this was first contact. Maybe humanity was finally not alone. Others felt fear, because the words did not sound like friendship. They sounded like command. Inside Earth Global Defense Command, deep under the mountains, a group of officers watched the replay again and again. Admiral Ryan Cole stood at the center of the room, his face calm, his eyes sharp. He had spent his life preparing for this exact moment. "They call it peace," he said quietly, but his voice carried across the command room. "It is not peace." Analysts began breaking down the signal. They found hidden code behind the visible message, numbers, patterns, and coordinates buried under the sound waves. The aliens had not just sent a greeting, they had scanned every defense satellite, every energy grid, every weapon system on Earth. They were measuring humanity. And worse, they had included coordinates near the edge of the solar system. Invasion staging points. The Alien Alliance believed humans would panic. They believed Earth would surrender before a single ship arrived. But they did not understand humans. Admiral Cole turned toward a large screen showing a dark section of space far beyond Mars. "Activate Shadow Fleet," he said. No alarms sounded, no dramatic lights flashed. Deep in hidden shipyards carved inside asteroids and beneath the surface of moons, massive human warships, powered on one by one, engines hummed softly, shields flickered to life. These ships had never been shown to the world. Not even most governments knew their full strength. Humanity had prepared in silence for years, studying alien signals, waiting for the day someone would mistake kindness for weakness. On the alien side, far beyond the solar system, the Galactic Council gathered in a shining chamber of crystal and light. They watched Earth through long-range sensors. No missiles launched, no fleet movements, no public rebellion. The human world appeared calm. They smiled. "Primitive species," one council member said. "They understand survival." But in the darkness between planets, one human warship slipped away from its hidden dock. It moved without lights, without noise, its hull black against the stars. Its destination was not Earth. It was the coordinates hidden inside the alien message. Back in command, Admiral Cole looked at the final replay once more. "You call it peace," he whispered. "We call it war." They believed humanity was silent. They believed silence meant fear. Far beyond the solar system, inside a massive floating chamber of crystal and white light, the Galactic Council watched Earth. Carefully, streams of data flowed across transparent screens, energy readings, weapon signatures, communication traffic, all of it calm and steady. No panic, no fleet mobilization, no resistance. The council members felt satisfied. "The humans understand power," one of them said. "They will surrender soon." But they did not see what moved in the dark. The human warship traveled without lights, its hull covered in adaptive plating that bent starlight around it. Engines worked at low output, silent and precise. The crew inside spoke very little, every movement planned, every command short and clear. Captain Elias Vorn stood at the front of the bridge watching the star map projection. The coordinates hidden in the alien message blinked softly ahead. It was exactly as Admiral Cole predicted. The so-called peace offer had carried more than words. It carried reconnaissance scans and location markers, invasion points prepared in advance, supply lines already positioned in deep space. This was never peace. This was preparation. As the human ship moved closer, long-range sensors detected faint power signatures, dozens of alien vessels hidden behind a field of drifting asteroids, their weapons offline, but ready, their shields low but charged. They were waiting. waiting for Earth to respond with fear or refusal, waiting for the signal to begin conquest. Captain Vorn gave a quiet order. Deploy ghost probes. Small drones slipped from the human ship, invisible and silent. They moved between the asteroids, scanning everything, mapping fleet positions, recording frequencies, hacking into weak communication relays. Back on Earth, analysts received the live feed. Deep inside command room, scientists worked without sleep, decoding more layers of the alien transmission. They found something else. Embedded command triggers. If Earth had sent a hostile reply, certain keywords would have activated the hidden fleet instantly. The aliens expected anger. They expected pride. They expected emotional reaction. What they did not expect was patience. Hours passed near the asteroid field. Alien ships held position, confident that their presence was undetected. Then, without warning, several of their outer communication buoys shut down. No explosion, no signal, just silence. Inside, the alien fleet commanders grew confused. They ran diagnostics, but systems showed no damage, no intrusion. Another buoy went dark, then another. Captain Vorn watched calmly as his crew isolated power relays one by one, not destroying them, only disconnecting them, cutting the alien fleet from its command network, slowly, carefully, like removing pieces from board. Fear began to spread among the alien officers. They scanned space again and again, but found nothing. How could a primitive species reach this far? How could humans know their hidden positions? Back in the Crystal Council chamber, alarm lights began to glow softly for the first time since the message was sent. A technician reported loss of contact with forward staging points. The council members felt something new, uncertainty, and far in the darkness, Captain Vorn spoke quietly. They wanted peace, but they prepared for war. Now they will learn. Humans prepare better. They searched for an enemy, but they found only silence. Inside, the hidden alien fleet confusion turned into fear. Officers moved quickly between glowing control panels, trying to restore contact with their outer defense grid. Every system check returned the same result. No damage detected. No hostile signatures. No visible intruders. Yet one by one, their long-range relays went dark. The fleet commander, a tall, armored figure with silver eyes, ordered a full-spectrum scan. Energy waves pulsed through the asteroid field, scanning every rock, every shadow, every fragment of metal. Nothing. But deep between two drifting asteroids, the human warship rested without motion, its hull bending radiation around it, absorbing scans like empty space. On the bridge, Captain Elias Vorn watched the alien pulse sweep across them. "Hold position," he said calmly. The crew barely breathed. The alien fleet believed power meant visibility. Massive ships, glowing with weapons ready to strike. Humans believed power could hide. Another alien supply vessel suddenly lost engine control, its navigation systems frozen, its reactor placed in a safe mode automatically. No explosion, no fire, just helpless drift. Panic spread through the alien formation. "Someone is inside our network," an officer finally said. "Impossible," the commander replied. "Their species barely reached its own moon cycles ago." But even as he spoke, internal security drones began reporting corrupted pathways and locked access nodes. The human ghost probes had done more than scan. They had mapped command protocols and found weaknesses. Ancient Alliance code, built on arrogance and assumption. Captain Vorn turned toward his communications officer. "Prepare Phase 2. On Earth, Admiral Cole stood before a wall of live data, watching alien confusion unfold. Analysts whispered as they saw alien fleet formations, tightening shields, raising weapons, aiming at empty space. "They are scared," one analyst said. Cole nodded. "Good." In the asteroid field, the human warship powered its engine for the first time. A soft vibration moved through the hull, but instead of charging weapons, Captain Vorn transmitted something. A burst of encrypted data shot directly into the alien command ship. The alien commander froze as his main display shifted. Instead of tactical maps, he saw their own invasion blueprint projected clearly. Every staging point, every attack wave, every planned strike on Earth cities. The humans had seen everything. A second message followed, simple and direct. We received your peace offer. The alien bridge fell silent. How do they know this? The commander demanded. Before anyone answered, another part of the projection appeared. It showed human fleet signatures, hundreds of them hidden across the solar system, far more advanced than Alliance estimates. Their intelligence was wrong. Their calculations flawed. Their prey prepared. Back on the human bridge, Captain Vorn finally allowed himself to speak softly. They wanted us afraid. Instead, they should be worried. Suddenly, one of the alien cruisers fired blindly into the asteroid, fueled a beam of energy slicing through drifting rocks. The human ship did not move. The beam missed by thousands of kilometers. The alien commander realized something terrifying. They were not fighting an enemy they could see. They were surrounded by one they could not predict. In the council chamber, far away, emergency signals flashed across crystal walls, reports of system breach, data theft, fleet disruption. For the first time since the message was sent, the word war was spoken not by humans, but by the Alliance itself. They studied human history, but they ignored its meaning. Inside the Crystal Council chamber, the word war echoed again and again. Alliance leaders who once spoke with calm authority now whispered in tight circles, their confidence cracked by something they could not measure. Humans were not responding like other species. They were not begging. They were not threatening loudly. They were thinking. Far across the void, the hidden alien fleet shifted formation, cruisers, aligned shields, fully activated weapons, charging bright lines of energy, cutting through the darkness. They expected a visible enemy, a fleet, to target, a shape to destroy. Instead, they faced empty space and failing systems. On the human warship, Captain Elias Vorn watched the alien fleet reorganize. They are afraid, he said quietly. Fear makes them loud. The crew continued their silent work. Ghost probes moved deeper into alien command layers, rewriting access keys, isolating weapon relays, placing small delays into targeting systems, so small they were invisible, yet enough to cause hesitation at critical moments. This was not random sabotage. This was design. On Earth, Admiral Cole ordered global fleets into readiness, massive carriers hidden beyond lunar orbit, powered-up stealth destroyers emerged from shadowed shipyards, satellites long believed to be communication relays revealed defensive cannons. Humanity had built its strength quietly for decades after detecting the first faint alien signal years ago. They had studied every fragment of data, every strange transmission, every pattern of movement in deep space. They had learned one lesson. Anyone who arrives offering peace while preparing invasion cannot be trusted. Back in the asteroid field, the alien commander received a direct transmission. Not an attack, not a threat, a simple line of text. You misjudged us. The commander felt something unfamiliar, a slow tightening inside his chest. Their alliance had conquered dozens of worlds using the same method: offer peace, show overwhelming power, then strike if refused. It had always worked, because most species feared extinction more than freedom. But humans were different. Their history showed endless conflict, yet they survived each time, stronger than before, divided, yet united when threatened, fragile, yet impossible to control. Another alien cruiser suddenly powered down its weapon systems, locked by unknown code engineers, tried override commands, but every attempt failed. The fleet was slowly losing control of itself. Captain Vorn looked at the tactical map, alien ships glowing with unstable signals. We would not fire first, he said. Let them understand. Minutes later, human fleet signatures appeared across multiple sectors near Alliance territory, not attacking, not invading, simply present, powerful, silent, undeniable. The Alliance realized something critical. Earth was not defending. Earth was demonstrating. In the council chamber, panic replaced pride. Reports showed human ships positioned near supply corridors, near energy harvesting stations, near strategic gates. If humans chose to strike, the Alliance would bleed instantly. One council member whispered they were supposed to kneel. But in deep space, Captain Vorn prepared the next transmission. They called it peace. Humans were about to define what war truly meant. It was never about peace. It was about control. Inside the Alliance Council chamber, the crystal walls no longer glowed with calm light. They flickered with warning signals, red pulses spreading across the chamber. Like cracks in glass, reports streamed in from every sector: supply routes, unstable defense grids, compromised outer colonies requesting clarification. The leaders who once spoke with certainty now demanded answers. How do humans reach this level? How do they hide such strength? No one had a clear response. Far in the dark between stars, human fleets held their positions. They did not advance. They did not attack. They simply remained present like silent giants blocking vital corridors of Alliance expansion. Their message was simple. We are not prey. Inside the alien command ship near the asteroid field, engineers worked desperately to regain control of disabled systems. Weapons refused to respond. Navigation pathways looped endlessly. Communications to Central Command delayed by seconds that felt like hours. The human interference was precise. It was not chaos. It was calculated. The alien commander realized something disturbing. Humans were not trying to destroy them. They were teaching them. On Earth, Admiral Cole stood before global representatives, his voice calm as he addressed them. They expected surrender, he said. Instead, we showed restraint. Screens displayed captured Alliance invasion plans, now decrypted and broadcast across neutral alien networks. Smaller civilizations watched in shock as they saw the truth. The Alliance peace doctrine was a mask for expansion and forced submission. Trust inside the Alliance began to fracture. Outer member species questioned leadership. Some demanded withdrawal from human conflict. Others shut down military support, fearing they would become targets if war escalated. Divisions spread faster than any weapon. Captain Elias Vorn observed the shift in Alliance communication traffic. They are turning on each other, his officer reported. Vorn nodded quietly. Pressure reveals weakness. Suddenly, the alien commander opened a direct channel to the human warship. For the first time, there was no threat in his tone. You have made your point, he said. What do you want? The human bridge remained silent for a long moment. Then Vorn responded. Truth. The Alliance chamber received the same transmission moments later, along with visual proof of every invasion coordinate hidden in the original peace message. The evidence could not be denied. Panic erupted inside the chamber. Accusations flew, voices rose. Alliances that stood united for centuries began to crack. Human fleets still did not fire. They simply tightened their formation around key Alliance gateways. A final warning flashed across Alliance command screens. If one human colony is targeted, every military ship in this network loses power permanently. The message ended without signature. The alien commander stared at his powerless weapons and understood something too late. Humans were not seeking conquest. They were dismantling dominance. And far from Earth, Admiral Cole watched the galaxy shift. They called it peace. Now, they were beginning to regret it. You called it peace. We call it war. The final transmission did not come with explosions or fire. It came with silence. Across Alliance space, human fleets held every critical gate, every energy corridor, every military dockyard. They did not attack cities. They did not harm civilians. They did not destroy worlds. They simply removed control. One by one, Alliance warships powered down, not from damage, but from locked command systems. Human code flowed through military networks, shutting weapons, disabling targeting grids, freezing launch bays without a single missile fired. Inside the Crystal Council chamber, leaders watched their empire grow quiet. No fleets responding. No commanders reporting. No weapons ready. Only screens filled with human symbols marking controlled sectors. The alien commander near the asteroid field received a final secure channel from Captain Elias Vorn. This is not extermination, Vorn said calmly. This is consequence. The commander lowered his head for the first time in his long career. You could end us, he said. Yes, Vorn replied, but we will not. On Earth, Admiral Cole addressed the planet and every alien system connected to open networks, his voice steady, without anger. You offered peace while preparing invasion, he said. We responded with strength instead of fear. We have no desire to rule your worlds. We only demand one truth. Never threaten humanity again. The message spread across the galaxy faster than any fleet movement. Smaller civilizations that once feared the Alliance now saw a different power of species that could conquer but chose restraint. Inside Alliance space, internal conflicts erupted. Member species demanded reform, they demanded transparency, they demanded removal of leaders who had nearly dragged them into disaster. The Alliance was not destroyed. It was changed. Captain Vorn stood on the bridge watching alien fleets slowly regain limited control under human supervision. Every weapon system remained locked, every invasion blueprint erased from central archives. He turned to his crew. Prepare withdrawal. Human ships began pulling back from Alliance territory, leaving behind silent marker satellites that ensured compliance but carried no active threat. The galaxy felt different, quieter, more cautious. The alien commander transmitted one last question before the human fleet vanished into deep space. Why show mercy? Vorn answered without hesitation. Because unlike you, we meant peace. Days later, Earth skies remained calm. No enemy ships, no burning stars, only distant signals of negotiation, rebuilding, and uneasy respect. Admiral Cole looked at the first alien transmission one final time. The words offering peace still echoed in his memory. They believed humanity would kneel. Instead, humanity stood firm. The galaxy learned something that day. Humans do not seek war, but if forced into it, they finish it. And far beyond visible space, hidden human shipyards, powered down, returning to shadow, waiting not for conquest, but for the next time someone mistakes kindness for weakness.